Alright, so here we are today. The little game that I've put some time into that I quite enjoy. I can be a bit of a sucker for poetry. And this is a fun little one where you kind of get to decode them. And maybe you will be introduced to some poems you've never heard before from people you've also never heard of before, or maybe you have and you didn't know that their work extended beyond what you had previously thought. Right, so this is a game where I guess I could try and see the credits here. I guess it doesn't say it in here, but this is a game that's working in tandem with a little, I guess, group called Project Gutenberg. They're a volunteer group that their project is aimed at digitizing and archiving cultural works and to, encourage the creation and distribution of ebooks. And so Project Gutenberg is so here's the thing about Gutenberg. So realistically, right, there are a lot of sites you can go to download ebooks for free. If you know, then you know. But I think what's different about Gutenberg is that they actually receive legal permission to put the books up, or they upload books that are I guess don't need permissions. Like, I don't know exactly how it works, but like how Mickey Mouse is suddenly now public use. Maybe these books just hit public use. I don't know exactly how it works, but they have something like 70,000 books, and there's a lot of good classics. There's a lot of stuff you've probably never heard of in multiple languages. So if you're looking for a legal and nice way to find some ebooks, Project Gutenberg has got to be one of the best ones to do it. So, this is obviously by no means a sponsorship, but they're a good little platform, and I think I've used them, and I've read some Edgar Allan Poe through them in the past, and I was reading something else. I can't quite remember. Maybe it was an H.G. Wells, but it's a great little site, and I haven't been using it that much recently, but in the past I had used it pretty frequently, actually, even for writing my master's thesis. So it's a cool little site, and it's legal, so that's nice. Anyway, let's hop right into the game. Now, when it comes to poetry, I don't know, a lot of people go for love or nature. I'm quite a sucker for nature. Why don't we go with life, death, war, historical? Why don't we go with childhood today? Why not? So as you see here, we have 0 out of 35 ciphers solved and 0 out of 9 poems discovered. Which ones had I done previously? I did some for despair. I guess I hadn't done too many of these. So, right, what we have here is a little cipher, where at the bottom we can see these are the letters they give us, and then we have to decipher it. So we see that D at the bottom corresponds with G. H corresponds with R. So anywhere we see an H, it's going to be an R, right? And so the general strategy, if you're already unaware, is that you look for common patterns, right? Like we see a double C here after GRCC, right? What letters would frequently go together in pairs? Like E's, right? Like this could be greet. O's for groom. Maybe groom, right? It'd have to be a vowel, these C's. And so if we look for other places where they might be, here's another one, GROO maybe, EE. Here's another C after an S, which makes me think, how many words I should say, end with SO? There's some, but how many words end with SE? Quite a few, right? We also have here M, R, I almost want to say this is Mary, like M-E, R-R-Y. That's what I would guess, but I'm not sure. So we'll just leave it at there right now. Let's see what else we can do. We have this one, see? G-R-E-E. It could be greet. It could be green. Could be greed. Could be Greek. But then it'd be capitalized. Typically. We'll see. Ah, but look. We have a G. Which makes me think it would be an N. Because if we had greet, what word ends with TG? Nothing. Well, maybe not nothing. Nothing I know. What ends with, if it's greed, what ends with DG? Nothing I know. So I'm guessing it's N. Which makes me think that this would be an ING. Because very, very many words will end with ING. It's a very necessary suffix in the English language. And so just from these few, we have a much better picture of what we're looking at. This one could be scream. It could be stream. But I'm guessing these Q's, right, are going to be A's. And this one has to be runs with a U. Which makes me think this is certainly going to be stream. And then if we look here, we have T, E. Now, it could be tie, but it's probably not. It's probably the. And I'm guessing, since we have T here, I immediately saw HEN. I thought, oh, it's then, right? But we already have T covered. So I'm going to choose W. When the green something laugh with the, maybe it's laugh. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But look, J something Y. It has to be O. There's no other. Right here, VOI, E has to be voice. Of joy. And the dim. When the green woods laugh with the voice of joy. And the dimpling stream runs laughing by. Oh, here we go. When the green woods laugh with the voice of joy, and the dimpling stream runs laughing by, when the air does laugh with our merry wit, and the green hill laughs with the noise of it. I can reveal the poet and poem, or we can finish it first. Let's try to finish it. Now, I have no clue who this is, but We'll learn afterward. We have quotation marks here with 2 repeating words and 1. They all have the same starting letter, so it's a short alliteration here. This makes me think this would be green again, so I'm going to fill this full of green. And this one, look, hopper. This has to be grasshopper, right? It has to be grasshopper, and that makes it quite easy, no? Mare-e. This could be then, could be when. I want to say it's when, because the previous, whatever it's called, started with when. And typically they'll keep their consistency, right? When the meadows laugh, also laugh with lively. You see, he continued a very similar pattern. So this one was much easier to solve. When the meadows laugh with lively green, and the grasshopper laughs in the merry scene, when Mary and Susan and Emily, with their sweet round mouths, sing ha ha he. Let's finish this one up. Let me guess. This one's going to be when, W-H-E-N. T-H-E. How much you want to bet? W-H-E-N. T. Yeah, I think I was right. Here, this one has to be table, right? With cherries and nuts is spread our table to sing. This one, look, we have Mary again. Something, life, and be merry. R. Why come like and join. Laugh, come live. When the painted birds laugh in the shade, where a table with cherries and nuts is spread, come live and be merry and join with me to sing the sweet chorus of ha ha he. Well, let's read the poem first. And we have now learned that is in fact a poem by William Blake. And what's cool about this, right, is that you can, go here, click about the poet, and learn about him, right? So William Blake was an Englishman, like the Bible, classical works. He had his first divine contact with angels and other figures from the Bible. By 21, he was a professional engraver, and then went to study art. Got married, and was highly egalitarian, quality of sexes, and deeply inspired by the American and French revolutions. He made engravings and watercolors, making some illustrations for Dante's Inferno. And then he died. He's a really spiritual guy, writing something nice. And here's his little laughing song that we just got to learn. And we can go here, view anthology. As it says, it's been opened in your default browser. The URL has been copied to your clipboard. So if I were to swap over to my browser here, I will have it opened in my browser, which is cool. And it's on the Project Gutenberg site. as I had stated earlier, right? Which, you know, so this game has like direct links to that. So if you find something you really like, you can learn more about them. And up here is the same. Read poems, you click this. Oh, never mind. These are the ones that you've unlocked. Try one from... Let's try one from... War. Why not? We'll try one from War. You know? We'll see where this one goes. P something. PP. Puppies? I don't want to say it's puppies, right? B something U. T. Let's see. QXS. 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 This is THE. This is the. This would be that. Between. This would be between. The CLA, perhaps? But we already have A. And I want to say this is peace, but look, it has that. So it could be plain. Or... I don't know. SEX? No. This should be and. This is an easy find. FIELDS. This would be fields for sure. Or maybe... No, it would have to be fields. Poppies. I bet you it's poppies. I don't know what this would be. R? I don't know. Flanders? Simpsons? Fields the poppies blow. Between the... that plane and in the still... Oh, no. I'm not there yet. Is it losses? No, we already have that. Oh, this one's tough. Singing. This should be guns. This must be our with an R. Between the crosses, perhaps. And place. I think that makes sense. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that something are place. And in the still bravely. Bravel. Oh my god. I thought it was like gravel. Bravely. Singing. Fly. Scarce heard. The guns below. Amid, perhaps? That mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. That's it. That wasn't too bad. I wonder, the Flanders fields, I don't know where this is. You see this bravely singing, you see this. It almost makes me think it's an American poet. It kind of has that vibe. No? Maybe. Let's look for THE. XFM. XOJ. This would be and, I bet. AND. XFM. Are there any other XFMs? It's XOJs. Oh wait, how would this be the if it starts? Okay. AND. I bet you that's SEM. I bet you this is the. Yep. Why? This is definitely T, because this is TSHORT. Short days. I guarantee. And this one's dead, right? This one has to be short days. Flanders Fields. We are the dead. Short days. We lived. Felt dawn. Saw sunset. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Below? Glow. We are the dead. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. That's brutal, man. This has got to be Flanders right here. Flanders. We just unlocked half of it. We shall not sleep. Though poppies grow in Flanders. Take up our quarrel with the foe. From torch yours. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. Wow. Jeez, that's actually a pretty enticing poem, no? In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. So we have this imagery of men fighting, non-stop fighting, to the point where they can't even hear the larks, which maybe could be interpreted as perhaps the spirit of these soldiers who are buried underground, right? You have that kind of contrast in these crosses between the poppies. So they're treading on the ground of where their comrades have fallen, and yet they're so engrossed in the battle that they perhaps do not hear the spirit flying above them for victory. They are the dead. It was only days ago that they were living, but they have died now and become one with the dirt of Flanders Fields. And it looks like he's, what would be the word? Encouraging, or, yeah, I guess encouraging his comrades to fight with the foe. They throw the torch with their dying breath and threaten them, essentially, that if they do not have faith in the battle and do not fight to their own bitter end or bitter victory, their spirits will not sleep, even though it appears they may, buried below the poppies. By John McCrae. I have never heard of this guy. Ontario? Oh, he was sent to South Africa to fight in the Second Boer War. Came back as a pathologist, or a professor of pathology, World War I. So he was a field medic in World War I. It was his experience fighting with and tending to wounded soldiers on the battlefield and the subsequent death of his friend at the Second Battle of Yep, which inspired his most famous poem, In Flanders Fields. That's the one we just read. Well, deciphered, I guess. Oh, that's interesting. It was the only poem he published in his lifetime. But he had some more. Ah! This poem is the reason the poppy was chosen as the flower of remembrance for the British and Commonwealth War dead. So this is a remarkably influential poem. That's actually quite interesting. You know, that's why I like this. You know, you can go through and have like really enlightening kind of interesting experience, just decoding and putting that imagery into your head, and then you can learn about the person and about the thing. I think I'll do one more, and then I'll call it there. Why don't we go with... I think life, you know? I think life. I want to say this is an E. This is likely an E. Maybe this is an A. Passes. Yep. See, we have the word C. This is likely R. Well, it could be T. It's likely R though. Let me just check for ACHs. Yep. There's at least two. I'm going to use that as enough. Are the little places. Oh yeah, places. Maybe in the countries. At the little places one passes by in trains and never stops at, where the skies extend uninterrupted and the level plains stretch in the middle of countries far from hills and sea. Oh, I must have missed it. I must have missed that cipher at the bottom, because I don't remember seeing this fifth line. I like this already. Let's see what these little places take us. Oh yeah, you see it does scroll. Oops. EW. I almost want to say it's KN, but I'm not sure. Let's look for easy to identify words. Of? Could be if? But if it's if, this would be D, so that doesn't make sense. It'd have to be do and of. And this would likely be to do, with nothing to think of, nothing to do. NOTHING, to think of, nothing to do, nothing even to look at, never a view. And behind the glass of the Grand Express, folk away a province through, with nothing to think of, nothing to do, nothing even to look at, never a view, in this damned wilderness. That's what I like, you know? You find one word, nothing, and the whole thing just falls into place. This looks like the THE, no? FJM. 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 The, or the, being the most commonly, the most frequently, the most used word. Okay, that's what I want to say. It's quite easy to find a proper spot. Look out of the window and find. But I look out of the window and find something to satisfy the mind. Much to satisfy the mind. Mark how the furrows formed and wheeled in a motion orderly and stayed. Sweet as we sweep as we pass across the field like a drilled army on parade. This is nice. I wonder when this was written. You know? Was it written from a steam train? Was it written from one of our more modern electric trains? Do we have those in the States? I mean, it's bringing back memories of me riding on the high-speed rails in both Japan and China. Man, they're awesome. They are seriously awesome. Oh, I wish we had them. It's just a lot of problems. This could be... No, IFOF potato ES, maybe? So I'm gonna say it's an O. Stripe. This word is stripe. And here's a Ardennes with stripe on stripe of varied greens. Bright potatoes? That's the only one that works with our selected letters down here. Bright potatoes. That's a very odd way to describe potatoes. I've never viewed potatoes as bright, but I guess that's why it's poetry, no? And the what? Opacious, maybe? The market garden? And here's a market garden. Barred. Or bared, maybe? With stripe on stripe of varied greens. Bright potatoes, flower starred, and the opacious color of beans. Now, we can tell by the way they spell color. This is absolutely not an American poet. We'll see where they come from. Likely the UK. And if that's the case, Avenue, it's likely that this is one of those old steam trains, maybe from the beginning part of the Industrial Revolution. This one's tough, actually. We see EE. Perhaps it's C. Maybe it's P. P. P something NGP. Okay, obviously it's not P. I'm just trying to have some fun with it. C is strange. This one's definitely strange. Oh no, it can't be. We can't use N. Straight. It's straight. Each line. Slings, maybe? Swings towards me. Each line deliberately swings towards me till I see a straight green avenue to the heart of things. The glimpse of a sudden open gate piercing the adverse walls of fate. Oh. Oh, this is cool. Each line deliberately swings towards me till I see a straight green avenue to the heart of things. The glimpse of a sudden open gate piercing the adverse walls of fate. Oh, I love this, you know. It's like all he's doing is sitting and looking out a window. But to him it's like an epic, you know, it's an adventure. He's piercing into the heart of something magnificent. And what's especially, you know, in the context he provided earlier where he's going, people don't think much of it. People don't look out, they read the newspapers, you know. They're missing out on something incredible. Let's finish this poem up. This one's gotta be and for sure. This has gotta be UGHS. That's my guess. This could be swings, could be stings. I'm not gonna do that yet. Past. This is definitely past. And then... Yep, then. Maybe F. Because he talked about fate earlier, and I think right here, fate laughs would be good. A something, and then fast, the gate swings to. The avenue, closes. Fate laughs, and once more interposes its barriers. The train has passed. Moment only. Well, first, it was Huxley. It was Aldous Huxley. Now this one's a bit longer, so I won't read it. But I'll scroll through it. Interesting. Prominent English family. His parents were both teachers, and his family included many writers and poets, so he had a lot of pressure, this little Huxley fella. But his mother died when he was young. And he also had eye disease, which left him almost completely blind. That's quite terrible, actually. He was an editor for Oxford Poetry, got into debt, but ended up working and taught, actually, soon to be famous pupils like Eric Blair, known as George Orwell. It's pretty remarkable. He was also around during World War I. And of course, he made Brave New World in 1932. Many of his works focused on social criticism and the costs and benefits of modern life. This one, Brave New World, fantastic read. I've read it quite a few times, and it's quite interesting. I think it's relevant in some ways to today, although not in the ways that maybe other people would think it is. A lot of what I see when people talk about Brave New World is, it's like, it's people are just numbing themselves and blah blah blah, and that's true to a certain extent, perhaps more than ever before, so I'm not going to necessarily refute that point, but I think the greater criticism is in the governance strategy of the world government, or at least the UK, whatever they're called, government in Brave New World. I think that the greater critique is in not in that, like, people are genetically modified and that's bad. I think it's more in, I think he uses the concept of genetic modification in order to criticize a caste system and criticize social stratification and the means that those in power will use to continue its unfair, cruel reign, right? And the hypocrisy of those in power. Anyway, let's it's a good book. It's really, really good. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. And you see, especially like I was talking about with Brave New World, it says he became a Hindu Vedantist and published work on mysticism traditions around the world, which makes me think that he had some Indian influence and saw some parts of India that he didn't quite like. Became a successful Hollywood screenwriter, making $50,000 a week in today's money. That's crazy. He helped refugees flee from Nazi Germany. He experimented cautiously with psychedelic drugs. This guy is nuts, man. I didn't even know this about him. He was nominated for Nobel Prize in Literature and declined to be knighted. Huxley's dying wish was to be injected with LSD one last time. Okay, this guy's awesome. This guy's awesome. I'm gonna read more Huxley. Today I guess that's all we did. We did one from war, one from life, and of course one from childhood. This game is called, obviously, it says Rocky here. Well, it doesn't matter. You can have multiple profiles from multiple people. And I had it set on this progressive difficulty, so the first few poems are much easier to decipher, right? 6 letters, 3 letters, 0. And the farther you go into them, it becomes harder. Yeah. But this was, what's it called? It's not called Prose and Poems, right? It's called Poems and Codes. It was called Poems and Codes. So that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed. This game is like $5 on Steam or something. If you have even just a passing interest in poetry, or you want to learn a bit more about culture or things like this, or you into ciphers. They're relatively simple ciphers, but it's fun. It's interesting. They also have another one called Prose and Codes, which is, rather than poetry, it's prose. So, novels or essays or, philosophy, things like this, right? And it's basically the exact same, except for prose, which is also a great time. So that'll be it for today. If you enjoyed the video, you had a decent time, stick around, hit that subscribe, leave a comment, anything like that. If you have any thoughts, toss them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. So until next time.